Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBuzz TV. David here. Hope you're having a great day. In this video, 10 free plugin you should definitely try. Let's get to it. Unfortunately for Pro Tools users, there are way more free VST plugins than AAX, and many of the ones that I'm going to show you in this video are going to be VST. To run VST plugins in Pro Tools, I'm using BlueCat Patchwork. That's not free, but definitely worth getting because it allows you to run all the free VST in Pro Tools. Let's start with the first one. It's called Transpire by Sonic Anomaly. I never heard this manufacturer before, but this one is pretty cool. I'm pretty picky with transient designers because they tend to create artifacts, but this one sounds really good. Controls are the one you would expect, so attack, sustain, length, and overall dynamics. This fourth control is quite unique. Let's hear this in action on drums, of course. Quite snappy. Sustain. Really nice. It brings up the tail of the snare really nicely. Let me try this dynamic control here. There's not a way to compensate for the level, but it sounds really nice. And one thing I like about this one is it can remove the attack pretty transparently and efficiently. It's really nice. I really like this Transpire by Sonic Anomaly, our first free plugin. Let's get to the second one. I'm gonna stay on this track for the next plugin because the drum sounds that I was using were coming from the free version of the Slate Drums sampler. Many of you might know this one already, but I'm pretty surprised how many people don't know that there's actually a free version of the Steven Slate drum sampler, and it comes with one kit that sounds pretty good. I have version 4 installed. I know there's a version 5 still free that comes with a new kit, but the free kit sounds pretty good. Is a fully functional Slate sampler, so get it. I'm not gonna scroll through sound since version 5 is out. Our second free plugin, Steven Slate Drum Sampler. Let's get to the third one. Third one is a VST. It's called Tamper. Is a wave shaper saturator distortion plugin. We have a cutoff filter here with a resonance at the beginning of the signal path, then the drive that decides the input gain, the saturation, the distortion, and the curve, the shape of our wave shaper. The signal path ends with a feedback control that colors the signal even more, and then an output control to compensate. Let's give this one a try on piano first and on some loops later. pretty nice, especially if you automate the cutoff filter. I want to try this one really quick on a loop because I think this kind of saturation might go pretty well with that. In the display here in the middle, you can see the action of the distortion of the wave shaping the red part of the signal. And this one is pretty cool. I mean, it's free. You can go for parallel processing for more saturated, distorted sounds, or more subtle settings and leave it on the track itself. It seems to eat up a little bit of low end, so keep that in mind, but it's pretty cool, especially, again, if you start automating this one. Let's get to the fourth one. This one is pretty old, but still very, very good. Is Camel Crusher, another saturator distortion plugin. This one has been on so many albums, on so many tracks. It's kind of a classic, but if you don't know it, it has a distortion tab, a filter, compressor, and a master. You can bypass each one individually. Let's, again, try this one on a loop. It's got a mix knob. This was the distortion tab, compressor. You can hear the compressor itself when in fat mode add another layer of saturation. It has more of a slow attack when it's not in fat mode. I kind of like it not in fat mode, and then add my own distortion with the distortion tab. And then a filter. Pretty nice, not just on loops. Camel Crusher is still a classic. It's got a very recognizable sound that I happen to like. I've been using it for a long time. I also forgot about it up until doing this video for you guys. Also, of course, really nice on drums as well. but you can use it to distort vocals, bass, synths. Camel Crusher, another must-have free plugin. The next one is called Slacks, and it's an LA2A based compressor, again from Sonic Anomaly. I found this one after finding Transpire that we've seen at the beginning. This one, like an LA2A, is extremely simple. 2 knobs, gain and peak reduction. It has an emphasis knob, so we can decide how much high frequency enters the detection circuit and trigger the compression. Instead of the classic switch comp limiter, we have a variable knob, so we can go everywhere in between. Let's hear this one in action on a vocal without.
And the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in West. And the
it's pretty nice. It has a darkish color and a very nice saturation.
And the shadow it casts.
Let's go to limiting.
So unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in West. And the shadow it cast.
Yeah, totally love it. Slacks from Sonic Anomaly, an LA2A based plugin compressor. Next one is from Auburn Sounds, called Graylion 2. Is an autotune like plugin, so a pitch correction plugin, and it can do the artifacts that are so popular in pop music nowadays. The free version has some limitations. For example, here we have a panel where you can add voices that we cannot access. You have to upgrade to the full version. Bit Crusher as well, but this part here where you can do the pitch correction sounds pretty good. Then you can also do many of the usual production tricks that you do with an autotune-like plugin.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We
can inject the dry mix into it and it creates some really nice chorus effects.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off.
It's got this pitch shift wheel here.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try? There's nothing left here. We lost our whole world in one night.
I gotta say, it has a pretty interesting sound. It doesn't sound so metallic like some of the even paid versions of the autotune plugins.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erased.
This preserved format here works really well to create like harmonies.
We won't dwell on the past and the shadow it casts, so unembraceable and it lasts. Look you dead in the eyes, the peel off the sky. All is erasable and there's nothing left here for you and I. Why do we even try?
Really nice. Grelion 2 Auburn sounds might be worth the upgrade. And if it sounds like this, I'm gonna check out how much is to upgrade, because it might be worth checking out the Bit Crusher and the voicing of it. The next one is a VST. I'm using it again with Blue Cat Patchwork. It's called Vola 2 Voice Optimized Leveling Amplifier. I'm gonna try it on a voiceover. It's probably well suited for broadcasting and stuff like that, but I can see it working well on slow vocals, slow musical events, so not transient bass, nothing that needs a fast response, but it can use general average leveling. Let's take a look at the back panel. Here we find both balanced XLR connection and unbalanced RCA connection, and also the dip switches. The dip switches can be used to select the input sensitivity and to secure the speaker settings to prevent them from being changed inadvertently. First one is for volume. When set to lock, this dip switch secures the core. It's nice. It has a display. It shows you the curve of the level, and we have a pull up and a push down. So basically, it's an upward and downward compressor. It's pretty similar to how Waves MV2 works. I love MV2 plugin. It's one of my favorite, but this one is nice as well. It's free, first of all, and it has a low pass filter. Let's take a look at the back panel. Here we find both balanced XLR connection. Attack mode start at 0. So if we push down this slider, let's take a look at the back panel. Here we find both balanced XLR connection and unbalanced RCA really connection, nice. And also the dip switches. The dip switches can be used to select the input sensitivity and to secure the speaker settings to prevent them from being changed inadvertently. We have a de-esser, basically, and a high frequency de-emphasis. Let's take a look at the back panel. Here we find both balanced XLR connection and unbalanced RCA connection, and also the dip switches. The dip switches can be used to select the input sensitivity and to secure the speaker settings. Works to really prevent nice. Them from being changed inadvertently. First one is for volume. When set to lock, this dip switch recovery from fast to slow setting. The LED ring on the front panel indicates the volume setting, but it cannot be modified. It tells you here at the bottom the dynamic range reduction, the max gain, the max attenuation, everything. So it's pretty nice. Free. Again, Vola Voice Optimized Leveling Amplifier. Give it a try. Before getting to the last one, which is going to be kind of unusual, there's one more I want to show you. It's called Leveling Tool, and is an 1176 based compressor. So we have all the controls that we find on an 1176. Attack release ratio, which is variable, so we are not tied up to the 2, 4, 8, 12, 20. A dry wet knob here, and a really nice sounding drive. So I'm gonna start with the drive as 0. We're gonna try this on a loop. It's really nice. We have a sidechain HPF filter too. Gets really fast. Sounds really nice. Let me try it on a couple of different sources. Nice drive. Mandatory final test on drums for an 1176. pretty cool in parallel too. ADHD audio tool, leveling tool. It says tube leveling amplifier, so is probably more likely based on a 176 more than an 1176, but it's free. Give it a try, and let's get to the last plugin. LoopCloud. This is actually a loop organizer, a sound sample organizer, and it also have a bunch of features like auto key. You can change octave, you can change tempo. It has patterns you can play with. It comes with more than 2 gigs of free loops already. Here, the welcome pack, you can see ambient, chill out, drums, hip hop, techno, urban, and every week I think you have a pack for free. It's linked to a store. So anything you search in this bar here, you can decide if search it in your library or in the store, and it will get you to the store already, where you can buy single samples, single sounds, full packages, everything you want. And you can preview here in the player any sound of any pack that you find here in the store or in your library, of course. Let me play you, for example, something from the Carl Cox package. And you have bass loop. And you can change the pattern, the tempo. The key. Auto key, it syncs with your Pro Tools session. But the great thing about LoopCloud is the search engine. So let's say I'm gonna just look into my library for, I don't know, a bass line. I'm just writing it here in the search bar, and it gives me all the bass line that I have in my library. Bass line, that bass. And just to show you how well is integrated and easy to use in Pro Tools, let's say I like this bass line. I can decide to import the original or processed, because like I said, you can do several things here in this player. For example, the auto key to B in this case, which sync to my session. But you can also, more for rhythmic loops, we will see that, play with rhythms. Four bars. So you can do several things here in the player in the LoopCloud plugin itself. Once you're done with the processing, either you can import the original or the processed. In this case, it already has my key to my song and the tempo, right? So I'm importing the process file. I just dragged it and drop it here, and I can add it to the rest of my track. Okay, it's that easy. So the organizer part is really cool because it divides your library into instrument, genres, label, format, additional, K, and BPM. So let's say I want to stick to that genre, EDM like. So we go electro, and there you go. I have all the electro samples here. Let's go by instrument and see what we have. Cymbals, drum, effect. Okay, let's start with synth, electro. You can see here you have your filters for the search at the top. So let's see what we have, for example, in synth electronic. Let's say I like this one. I want to preview it on the track before importing it. I just press play on Pro Tools and we'll sync to LoopCloud. You get the idea. Instead of synth, we can try a different drum pattern, for example. We remove the synth filter, we put drums, and we have all the beat that I have in my library at this moment in drum and electro. We can import it, we can mess with it here, or just import it in Pro Tools and preview it in Pro Tools, as we said. And anything you don't have in your library, you just search in the store, and if you find anything you want, you're already here. You can preview it on your track, and if you want to, you can buy also single sound, and we will have a 20% discount on everything. But yeah, the plugin itself is absolutely free. LoopCloud, it comes with gigs and gigs of free samples already, and they update every week. It integrates with Pro Tools, as you've seen, seamlessly. And that's our last plugin. And this is it for this video. These were 10. Were they 10? I don't remember. Free plugins worth checking out. I hope this video was useful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any question, leave it in the comment down below. Follow Mixbus TV on Instagram and Facebook because there are so many great news coming up. You want to stay up to date. Thank you for watching. See you next time.